West Virginia's largest bat cave has white nose syndrome, a deadly and quick-spreading fungus. The fungus is threatening to wipe out the cave's entire bat population, including 2 endangered species. The cave is called Hellhole and is located in Pendleton County. The cave's bat population includes 13,000 Indiana bats and 5,000 Virginia big-eared bats, both of which are endangered. The past 3 years, the scourge, named for the white fungus that often appears on bats' muzzles, has killed more than 1 million bats in 9 states. And joining us now to discuss the problem is Craig Styler, an endangered species specialist with the West Virginia Division of Natural Resources. Craig, thanks for joining us.
Oh, you're welcome.
You were at the cave this weekend. What did you discover?
Well, we had 3 crews that went in the cave and looked at bats in different portions. We had several cavers from various states, and we had 16 people in the cave and 4 on top for support. I stayed on top and was one of the support people. But the whole time we were there, we had bats flying out of the cave in the middle of the day, which is totally bizarre for these bats. I mean, that's just something they don't do. They should be hibernating. They should be in the cave sound asleep. So there was obviously a problem. The folks that went in the cave reported seeing a large number of dead bats, especially near the entrance of the cave. And these are mostly little brown bats. Now, that's one of our more common bats, but they were hit pretty hard. So it looks like the little brown bats are dying. We're seeing dead bats on the cave floor. The live bats, 20 to 30% of them probably had white nose, which is a fungus that grows on the bat and seems to be the sole cause of this syndrome. The good news, and hopefully it'll stay good news, is that the rarer species, the Indiana bat, Virginia big-eared bat, weren't affected as much as the more common species. This is maybe because they like a little bit drier portions of the cave where the fungus may not grow as well. We are estimating 1% of the Indiana bats may have had white nose, and none of the Virginia big-ears. And we actually have more Virginia big-ears in Indiana's this year than we've seen in the past. So none of the Virginia big-ears show signs of white nose. Now, that doesn't mean that they're clear and they're not going to get it, but certainly it's not having the same sort of impact, at least not as quickly. So there is a ray of hope here that maybe some of our rarest bats will do better. And Hellhole is the largest concentration in the world for Virginia big-eared bats. So, saving that population would be an excellent thing to do.
What can you do about the problem?
There's almost nothing we can do at this point. There are researchers in various research labs and in the field looking at ways that we might be able to treat the bats. The first step is to find something that actually treats the fungus. The second step is figure out how do we do this in the wild. We have bats scattered in miles of cave passage, so it's not an easy task, but hopefully there will be some solution. The best management strategy we have now is try not to let people be part of the problem. It's obvious bats move the fungus from cave to cave. It seems like people are probably moving it too as they visit one cave and go to the other with dirty gear. So at this point, the best thing we can do is make sure we don't transfer the cave sediments from one cave to another and possibly move the fungus.
All right. What do you think will be the impact on insect populations?
Boy, that's a hard question. We've never seen anything of this magnitude happen. I mean, we've had declines in some bat populations, but it's usually, what we've seen in the past is maybe some of the rarer bat species are really declining to the point of almost extinction. But the common species have always been there, and we don't really know what's going to happen. But each of these bats, when it flies out at night during the summer, can eat half its weight to over its body weight in insects. And in Hellhole, we're talking, probably 200,000 or more bats. You take them off the landscape and have them not out there feeding on insects. I think the only thing we can assume is that insect populations, including some that may be agricultural and forest pests, are just going to be a little bit larger in the future.
All right. Craig Styler with the West Virginia Division of Natural Resources. I want to thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome.
All right. Now let's send it back to